I'm on the left. So everyone's been saying this movie sucks, this movie sucks, this movie sucks, and I'm going into it thinking this movie's gonna suck, and I'm sitting there waiting for it to suck. What is wrong with everybody? This movie's fine. I don't get it. Angry Joe and the IMDb users, it's at a 7.2 on IMDb last I checked, are the only people who seem to be appreciating this movie. Now, I'm not a die-hard fan of the other Terminators. I do not think Terminator 2 is the holy grail of sci-fi action. I think it's a good movie. I think it's a fun action movie that still holds up today, and not everybody can say that. Just because it's a classic doesn't mean it's just this legendary masterpiece. So I saw Terminator 1, Terminator 2, liked them both. Have not seen 3 or 4. I saw Salvation a while ago, but I don't remember it, so let's get into Terminator Genisys. And it's not like they're misspelling Genesis for the sake of it. Like, it is a product in the movie, so it works, okay? So Terminator Genisys is trying to do for the Terminator franchise what Days of Future Past did for the X-Men movies. You kind of need to know the basic idea of the Terminator universe to go into this movie. So, like, if you haven't seen 1 and 2, you're gonna be kind of lost. Because, you know, there's Terminators, and there's John Connor, and there's Sarah Connor. When Kyle Reese gets sent back this time, old Arnold is already there from Terminator 2, and everyone's like, whoa, so something happened that kind of combined Terminator 1 and 2 into one movie. And that is something that goes unexplained for the whole movie, but it's alright. If you're on board with that, the rest of it makes sense. I mean, for a time travel movie, it makes about as much sense as it could, because the whole, like, alright, Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor make John Connor. Alright, to have the exact same John Connor in your timeline in the next one, they have to have sex the exact same way at the exact same time. That same sperm has to hit that same egg, or he will be a completely different person. So that'll never happen. So this time we have Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connor, and I like her. I think she's great. She's from Game of Thrones. She's Khaleesi, right? The dragon lady? And she does great. She's this kind of sassy, I don't trust anyone, hardcore, badass chick. Look at her face, too. She is so cute. She definitely works as Sarah Connor. Jai Courtney is not the most charismatic action hero, but he suffices. Like, he plays his part good enough. Like, he's not the shining star of this movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger is probably the shining star of this movie. But Jai Courtney isn't as terrible as everybody's saying. Sure, they probably should have cast someone else, but he works. Like, he's functional, okay? The guy who is really miscast is Jason Clarke as John Connor. He is the most boring, lifeless guy ever. And his face is all weird. He's got, like, big, wide chins and this nasty-looking scar on his face. He looks terrible. They should have recast Christian Bale. That would have been awesome. Christian Bale is the best John Connor. And like I said, Arnold Schwarzenegger is back as the older Terminator because he's aged over time, because he's been in the timeline for enough years. And he's great. It's nice seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the Terminator role again. He, like, does it well. And he's got this relation... We'll just wait. Arnold Schwarzenegger is actually pretty funny, and he's got this great father-daughter relationship with Emilia Clarke. And like I said, I don't know why everyone's crapping on this movie. Maybe they just don't like their Terminator universe being messed with because it does kind of erase the old movies. I mean, it's time travel, though. That's what happens. Days of Future Past erased the first 2 good X-Men movies. No one was crying about that. I'm not saying this is as good as Days of Future Past. Days of Future Past is awesome. But as an action movie, it's completely functional. I mean, the action scenes are nothing revolutionary, but they work. There aren't really any long, drawn-out, like, action sequences. Like in Avengers, you can tell, all right, we're setting up for this action scenes. Like, there's kind of small pieces of action as the movie goes. The thing action movies have been suffering from lately is the camera just being too close. Like, there aren't a lot of edits. Like, it's not like, oh, this side, this angle, this angle, this angle, but it is a little too close. And that makes sense for when Arnold Schwarzenegger's naked and they don't want to show his balls hanging out, but for other action sequences, it's just like, this is claustrophobic. Back up a little, please, thank you. There's virtually no shaky cam. I mean, the only shaky cam I could remember is in a not action sequence. It's like, it's just Jason Clarke and Jai Courtney talking, and the camera just goes, I'm like, why would you hire a guy with Parkinson's to be the cameraman? Hold the camera still! The CGI that people have been saying is like, oh, the CGI in T2 looks better, and that's bullshit. Terminator 2 looks pretty terrible by today's standards. The T-1000 goo effects look a little shiny, and then the metal Terminators from the future look kind of shiny. And the helicopter chase looks a little CGI-ish, but whenever there's, like, CGI-ish things, like, you know, like the Terminator who turns into, like, the graphite or the gray sand or stuff, that looks really good. That looks great. And people think the young Arnold looks a little funny. He looks 100 times better than that! That abomination made it into film. And people are saying, It was revolutionary for special effects. Come off it, mate. Why did I turn British? That freaking stop-motion Terminator. Oh, please. Something I did notice about the action is that the sound is really good. Like, the sound effects, they're very poppy and cracky. There's nothing like... It's like... I love it. In an IMAX theater, the bass is... It sounds great. Sound design, you did your job well. And the soundtrack, too. It knows when to use the Terminator themes, like... And... See, it's so loud, the camera's shaking. The soundtrack gets really intense and it fits with the action scenes well. I guess I don't have anything super negative to say about it. Is it pushing any borders in the film industry? No. But it's functional as an action movie. It works. There's nothing hugely wrong with this. I'd say it's about on par with Jurassic World. And guys, I gotta say, in the end, Terminator Genisys is worth a 7. I was pleasantly surprised with this movie. I do not know where the hate is coming from. I don't. If you didn't like the movie, please tell me why. Thank you for watching. I'm Wesley Tomsky. Like, subscribe, share, comment, and follow me on Twitter to join the crusade against everything evil, because with God on our side, we shall prevail. You like my new poster? I put it over. See, the Bloodborne one is behind me because there's horrible glare from the window there, but I didn't want just a blank wall.